I think I'm still in the mood for camping. I better button my shirt. That looks inappropriate. Anyway, so today I did a painting of traveling with Robert's Minnie, Winnie, Minnie Tinnie camper. And I set it in a fictional place with a campfire going in the early morning hours. And yeah, I don't know if I like it yet, but it's okay. But still, I want to show you how I did this picture. If you're ever watching Traveling with Robert, let me show you his face. There he is. So that's Traveling with Robert, and I love his videos. And so I painted this. I'll show you how I did that right now. Okay, today is Tuesday. It's February 27th, 2024, and I want to do another greeting card painting on watercolor paper. And so I have the paper here and the brushes, and I got my cup of water that I'm going to use. I decided a cup is better than a tall vessel, a tall cup. A short cup is better than a tall cup because the tall cup can't get knocked over. And I have a computer over here and a fan over there and electrical outlets on the desk. But anyway, look at this. I got some brand new Winsor Newton Cotman watercolor paints. So I want to show you this because these little paints are so remarkable. If you've seen any of my other videos, you've seen that I've used these. And in here is lemon yellow, cadmium yellow hue, cadmium red pale hue, alizarin crimson hue, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, ultramarine, which I guess is a blue, cerulean blue, viridian hue, which is kind of a green, that's this one here, sap green, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber, and Chinese white. Chinese white. So I'm going to open it and show you. This is like an unpacking, how some videos do unpacking. I'm actually going to do a painting with this once I've got it all set up. But I wanted to show it to you because I've talked to you about Winsor Newton before. I have another Winsor Newton package. Oh, a paint set. My old one. So here's my old one, and here's my new one. And let's compare them. So here's the new one. I didn't open the paints yet, the individual paints. They're still wrapped. And there they are. And by the way, it comes with a cool brush. Let me show you the brush. It comes with this. Very cool. How it works is you pull it apart. You see the brush? Very cool. Oh, that's very usable. And you just put it together so you have more of a brush feel to it. And isn't that amazing? And for those of you who don't already know, you use this part of the case as your palette a little bit, a place to mix the colors. You know what? I'm going to keep that brush out and possibly use it. So my old one, you're going to see is a mess, but I still use it. It's still very usable. But you can see I've used it for a while. And you can see the yellow. I don't know if you can see, but the yellow is almost all gone. And so is this color, which I don't even know what that color is. But anyway, we're going to, and I'll have this one off to the side too. Maybe I'll need that. Maybe the colors aren't all identical. I don't know. But let's open these. Hope it's not doesn't take too long to do this. Oh, they're all individually wrapped. Oh, this might take a while to do. But anyway, I'm kind of excited. It's only, hey, this paint is so incredible. I was always a little bit of a snob when it came to pan colors, which, you know what, that's what I'm calling it. And I might be calling it the wrong thing because I don't see that name anywhere at all on the package, the word pan. But anyway, that's what I call it. Some people call it hard paints or water soluble, hard, whatever, watercolor paint. Gosh, this is hard to open. Am I doing it wrong? Gosh. I'm doing something wrong, I think. I bet I'm doing it wrong. I'll get the next one. I'll do it differently, I think. All right, so there's the tray with the color. Put it in its place. Now let's see. Does it just slip out of there maybe? I don't know. So anyway, the painting I'm doing today, in the first part, the intro, you've already seen this, but I'll be doing a painting of the Minnie Winnie trailer for camping, the motorhome or the trailer. I don't know what you call it. And I got the picture from Traveling Robert. He didn't send it to me, but I watch his videos. I did a screenshot, and I've done. I think I've done a few paintings that are from camping, but you know, I don't get out camping very much anymore. I used to get out a lot when my son was little, but now I don't get out very much anymore. Although I am going in April, and I am going in a tent, believe it or not. So, but Robert has a trailer, and he travels everywhere. If you ever watch his videos, he goes everywhere. Well, that one opened up pretty easy. He travels everywhere, and he's even gone to Europe, and not with the trailer, but he's gone to Europe, and just fun to watch. He's originally from Cuba. Oh, they're opening up so easy now. What did I do wrong the first time? He's originally from Cuba, and he has an interesting and amazing story of how he ended up here in Florida, in the United States. And he is just a great spokesman for traveling, for just enjoying life. And he happens to be a great songwriter and musician. And so he does these very professionally made videos. He has a drone. Look at this. They're all opening up easy now. What was with the first one? I feel like I'm opening candy. Wait till you see how these colors look, though. They look amazing. Hopefully the painting is amazing. You already know because you've seen the intro. I always do the intro last. But anyway. So yes, I want to do a painting based on Robert's trailer, his Minnie Winnie. He calls it Minnie Tinnie, by the way. Kind of a clever name. He's got a place up in Perry, Florida that he calls, what's he call it again? Pelican Land? Pelicamp. He calls it, I think, Pelicamp. Pelican is his, I guess, his mascot, the marketing thing, you know, like Jimmy Buffett had the parrot. Robert has the pelican. So a lot of times when I'm doing nothing, I just like to watch Robert's videos. And a lot of times when I am doing something like painting, I put the videos on just to listen to. And then I'll look up every now and then to see what he's got. But he's, not only is he a great videographer, but he's a great narrator. And so you can listen without having to see it. And then, you know, if you happen to be nearby your TV, which most people are when it's on, or your computer, I actually watch him on the TV. I got my YouTube going through my TV, and it works out nice. I'm 8 minutes into this video already. I haven't started painting yet. Oh well, I just wanted to show you these paints. I have had a number of people ask me about these paints, and I am not an expert. There is a website for Winsor and Newton. Just Google it, I guess, and look for it. And they'll answer all your questions there is about the paint itself. I honestly don't know the answers to the questions. I just love the paint, and it makes painting easy because, well, like with the other kind of watercolor, you have the tubes, and they can be a mess. But you know what? They're only a mess because I'm a messy person. Most artists, well, I shouldn't say this. I think a lot of artists are very organized and very tidy, and then yet I've known a lot of artists like me who just not tidy. So, all right, almost done. Unwrapping all these little paints. So then we'll start painting, okay? I'll show you the first step I do when I get the new paints. I'll show you my first step. Looks like I'm eating. Looks like all the wrappers. Look at all the wrappers, like I've been eating candy. All right, one more paint. Yeah. How come the first one was so hard to open, I wonder? All right, well, there we go. Those are all the paints. Let me get rid of these wrappers. Clean up my work area a little bit. And then we'll start to paint. Actually, I'm going to start with a pencil. And I'm going to sketch the idea onto the... Okay, it turned off for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, I have all the paints now unwrapped. And I want to show you what I do first. First, I want to make sure I know what colors I have, how they will actually look on paper. Okay, so I have a scrap piece of paper here, and I'm going to take each one of these colors and just give myself a little swash of the color. Just put it on there. So there, you can see that's yellow. Clean the brush, and this one's going to be orange. These are easier to see than the last box I bought. They were hard to really see, but that's how it'll actually look when it's on the paper. Okay, and we get the red. That's how it'll look. Just keep cleaning the brush. That looks like purple. Ooh, see, that fools you a little bit, doesn't it? That's more like wine color than purple. It did fool me. I thought it was going to be purple. Let me try it again. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like a wine color. Okay. Now, let's get this, what looks like blue to me. Here we go. And I know it's labeled on the back of the box, but I'm never going to keep that box. I will lose it. There's two different shades of blue there. Okay, so go back over here now. Get some of this green. Well, that's more of a turquoise green, isn't it? Okay, the recording, for some reason, the recorder stopped working, so I don't know what I missed. But anyway, let me continue here. I'm just getting these colors so I can have a reference of what they look like and how I can use them in the picture that I'm going to paint. And there we go. That's kind of an odd color, isn't it? I don't know what that one is, but I don't need to know what it's called. I just need to know what it looks like. That looks like a chocolatey brown. And the last one is that Chinese white. I imagine it's going to be hard to see on the paper. Yep, it's just plain white. So there we go. Now we know what those colors look like. And there we go. And you know, some of these in this other kit I actually will probably use because some of these are darker than some of those. Let me do the same thing with these colors. So this is that one. You see how that's very dark. And then this one, let me clean the brush. I probably should have cleaned it first. And then, well, this one is white. Okay. And this one, that's blue. It's almost the same as that one. This one is purple. And that's more purple than that. See, that one looks wine. Oh, I didn't realize I had so many. I didn't realize that both kits were not the same. So I got to put a line right there. So that separates the two. There's the new one, and here's the old one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Let me just keep doing this because this is important to know. There we go. My phone just made a clicking noise. So this one is about the same as that one or that one, I think. And this one, it's not that different from those. Just keep working it. This one, there's that green. That's not that different than that green. But some of these, like these two down here, are way different. And then this one, that's kind of like that one over there, the blue-green. And finally, oh, I missed one, didn't I? There's that red, not that different than that one. And this right here, this yellow. The yellow's got a lot of colors mixed in with it, so it looks dirty yellow, but actually that yellow is like pure, hasn't been messed with. So this box is different than that box, and that's good to know. All right, well, let's start with the picture for Robert. I have to find it on the computer. Let me get these off of the paper. Set the water off to the back, I guess. Can you see the paper still? This is the area that we'll be painting on. All right, so let me turn off the recorder, and I've got to find my reference photos, and I'll be right back. Okay, I don't know if I turned it off or not. I'm a little bit confused by my own camera today. So here's the pencil, here's the eraser, and I have my reference photo up on the screen. And what I think I'll do, so right here is the top of the card. I have to remember where the top of the card is, because I want to create a composition that will look nice. And what I want to do is I want to put Robert's trailer, his Minnie Tinnie, right around here. I don't want to make it too big in the picture. I just want to have it in the picture so it's sort of shaped like a loaf of bread, if you think about it. Sort of shaped like a little loaf of bread. So let me get this down here so we have like a vanishing point happening with the mini Winnie. And the front of it goes down like this. That must be where the bed is inside of the trailer, I guess. I don't really know. And then on the back, it's a little bit longer than that, I think. There's an RV show in our town this weekend, I think. Pretty sure. Yeah, I think that's the better sketch there. In the back he's got a spare tire, looks like. He's got a ladder that goes to the top of it. And he's got the name Winnebago on there. And he's got his own logo on there, the Traveling with Robert logo. And it looks like there's an awning here that comes off. And it looks like there's, down here, right about here, there's the wheel well. There you go. And then, of course, the tires. There's two of them. So he's got, I don't know, he's got 4 or 8 tires on this thing. Not sure, but anyway, it's very cool. I love watching his videos. They are relaxing, they are inspiring, and all right, so there's a line, like a decorative line that goes this way all the way to the front, and here there's a line that kind of separates the front from the back. There's a window here. Make sure I get it all in there, because once I start putting the paint down, I can't really change it a whole lot. With pencil I can change a lot. And there's the awning again. Okay, and there's a line here, it looks like, that comes down. That might be some kind of a functional thing. And a line over here. And I said this window here. And there's a nice window right here. It looks very cozy too. It's a very cozy little trailer. I never know what to call them. Trailers, RVs, motorhomes. I never really know what to call them. There we go. Make that door right there. Okay, I'm not really sure where the shadows are going to go yet. And here's the steps. It's got some kind of a stand that keeps it upright in the front. And so there's his trailer. I don't have his truck here. So on top of it, there's this, what looks like an air conditioner. I'm not sure what that is. And this goes, the ladder goes up there and over. And it looks like a vent maybe for the stove. And there's the sketch of Robert's Winnie, Minnie Tinnie, as he likes to say. Okay? Now, the background that I'm going to do is from a campsite he was in. I didn't get a really good screen grab from the pellet camp that he has, so I kind of am just winging it here. I wanted to put some kind of a campfire maybe right here, so I want to make some smoke rising, and I thought it would be kind of cool if there was sort of a road here, something to give it a little bit of a dimensional thing. And I want to make a horizon in the back with trees in the back here, and with the sun coming through like it's a sunny morning, like a sunrise, sunrise at pellet camp or something. Maybe that's what I'll call it. I don't know if he'll ever see it, but it'd be cool if he did see it. And there, I think that's all I really want to do. I just want to create basically a landscape. Maybe we could even, maybe, you know what? Maybe he's camping near a lake. Maybe that's an idea. Yeah, but maybe it's not pellet camp. Maybe it's somewhere else where there would be mountains in the background. I think I like that idea. And then here's maybe an area here where he's camping near the water's edge, and maybe instead of it being pellet camp, or maybe instead of a lake, maybe it's this stream, and the stream kind of disappears behind those trees over there. That's a cool place to camp right there. Just making it up as I go along. But I can see it in my mind. And then over here we would have some more trees. And here's like an opening where you can see the sun reflecting in the water here and over here. Yeah, baby. That's what we're going to do. Okay. We got that done, right? All right, next. Got kind of a composition worked out in my mind. I get some water, and I'll just start getting the background wet so that I can add the effects of the sky and the backdrop and everything. So, and for those of you who like camping, I will tell you I'm in the same group as you are. And what would I like to do to mix my love for painting and my love for camping is to, well, you can probably figure it out. Just go out, just get a campsite and take the paints along and just enjoy life. Just enjoy it, right? All right, so in that area, that's going to be the sun. I want to make sure I don't get that too dark with anything. Even that pencil might be in the way. But I'm going to just try that. All right, now I'm going to take I'm going to use my reference that I created over here and see which one of these paints looks like the better sky color. And I think it's this one. So let's try it out. Yeah, let's spread it around. not a bad color for a sky, and keep it loose. Keep it very wet so that it, because you can always darken it later. I want to just do that, and I want the lower part of the sky to be more of an orange, like it's early in the morning, you know. So take some of that red and orange. I'll just kind of dab it in there, and I imagine some of this will be reflecting down here too. So just kind of dab it in as we go along. Add a little bit more red to that. Well, that's a little bit too red. That's all right. We'll fix it. But I just like the idea of keeping it like that. Just spread it around. The Minnie Tinnie is pretty much white, and so I want to kind of stay true to that. But it's in the light of the morning, so these colors that I'm playing with right now will find their way onto the surface of the camper. I think that's probably the way I'm looking at it in my mind's eye. I don't know why my camera cut off a couple times. I'm kind of worried about that. Just get some of this yellow and orange up here. Yeah. Just kind of spread it around. There we go. Get some water on there. And this campfire also is going to be cool, because I imagine some smoke coming up from it. Okay. All right, now down here, I'm going to use this old paint for the dark areas down here, and I think I'll try to create a little bit of a distant hill here. Not quite a mountain. Not quite a mountain. There. See, right now it looks like a mess, and I will be honest with you. All my art looks horrible when I first start doing it. It doesn't ever look good in the beginning. It never does. It never does. It's kind of like us as humans, you know. We start out as these embryos, and I know people love them. I'm not saying something bad, but embryos are kind of ugly. We start out pretty ugly, and God takes us, and He's the artist, and He takes us and He makes us beautiful. Some of us are beautiful. I don't know that I'm in that group, but people can be beautiful. The news likes to focus on the bads, but I know a lot of people are so good. I kind of have that Anne Frank theory, you know, the Anne Frank way of thinking. All right, now what I want to do is I want to get some of this. I don't know what I want to do here, to be honest with you. I think I just want to get some, just a mixture of things here. I want to make sure that fire has some contrast, so that it has that look of smoke coming up from the bottom. I don't know if that's going to make sense, that this is a little stream, but I'm going to try to make it make sense. Yeah, it's good to kind of dab it. Don't paint it like you're painting a house. Just to get it, little dabs here and there. Makes it more interesting. And try to get the underside of Robert's Minnie Tinnie. Minnie Tinnie. I wonder if he ever gets tired of. Sometimes I've seen him drive across the whole country. It's like, ay, ay, ay. Do you ever get tired of doing that? That looks fun, but I don't know. Like when I was younger, I drove a lot. I can relate to Robert in a way, because I was a singer and songwriter, and the young me, I used to play guitar, and I played music in, well, first it was the typical thing, the bars, and then later on it was the more sophisticated, if you will, the lounges. And the difference between a bar and a lounge is very, very thin line, but just to explain, it was more like a hotel lounge. So like a bar, you're playing for local people, like people who come into the bar, and those were always fun. I think my most fun one was a bar near a fire station in New York, and all the firemen would come there, and then when the fire alarm would go off, the whole place would be empty. And then they would come back, and they were so fun and so real, and I always felt for them because they had to go out on so many calls, and sometimes they'd come back and be a little bit bummed out because of what they saw, and they would cheer each other up, and my job was to keep the place happy, with the music. So that was the bars. Then there was the lounges, and the lounges were like hotels, and I liked them, but you didn't see the same people. You didn't get to know anybody. Everybody was transient. So that was the way that worked. Look what I did right there. I made a mistake. I meant to keep the fire. It's all right. I can get that up. Just take the water and get it up. There. It's easy to do, right? I'll fix that later. Just kind of pick it up now so I remember that I wanted that to be the fire. There's the smoke in the sky. So it'll work. I'll get it to work. Well, anyway, after I was done with that part of my life playing lounges, then I went to play colleges, and colleges was a very good experience for me. It paid more money, and the actual performing time was usually only about an hour. I wasn't famous, so there was always somebody more famous than me who was like the headliner, and I would be like the warm-up guy, right, at a college. And they weren't. I didn't warm up for anybody that you would know. I don't think so. But they were more famous than me, and they demanded or commanded more money than me, and so I made my $350, and back in those days, that was pretty cool. And then I got on the road and went to the next one. So you can imagine what my life was like on the road all the time and staying in hotels. I didn't have a camper or anything. I do have fond memories of those days, though. I don't complain about them. I thank God for them because it was a great learning experience. And I made some records, so I can relate to Robert in that way. I think Robert's probably made a lot of recordings. And I made some records, and because of the records, I got to know a lot of people in radio. I was always being interviewed on the radio, blah, 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 etc. And it was up and down the coast. I wasn't anywhere out west. I was everywhere from Florida to Connecticut. That was pretty much my whole thing. And I did it a lot. I was on the road all the time. And then a couple of radio stations around here were playing my record a lot, and they got to know me. And one day I was at the mall, the local mall, and there was a guy there selling cookies. Do you remember the Great American Cookie Company by chance? Well, that was what this place was called, the Great American Cookie Company. And this guy was working there, and he had this very, very nice speaking voice. And I said to him, "You got a great voice. You should be in radio." So he said, "I wish." And I said, "Really?" So there was no cell phones back in those days. So I went to the payphone in the mall, and I called up the guy I knew at the radio station, and I said, "Hey, there's a guy here, and he's got a great voice, and I think he'd be great on the radio." Now, I really knew nothing about radio at that time other than to listen to it. And he said, well, it just so happens that I need somebody. Have him call me. So I thought, that's great. So I went back to the cookie company and I told the guy what I just told you. And the guy seemed excited. I gave him the number for the radio station. And I don't know, maybe a week or so later, the guy I knew at the radio station, he called me up and he said, hey, Larry, what ever happened to your friend? And I said, what friend? Who are you talking about? He said, the friend that wanted to work in radio. And I said, Fred, that wasn't a friend. That was just the guy who works at the cookie company. I don't really know him. So he said, oh, well, he never called. I was disappointed. I said, he never called. Wonder why. Well, anyway, he said, I still need somebody. And at this time, I was starting to get really burned out by playing in these colleges and being on the road all the time. So he said he still needed somebody. And I said, can I try out for it? I had never done radio in my life. So he said, yeah. So I went in, and you want to know something? It had nothing to do with having a good voice. It had everything to do with knowing when to push a button to play a commercial. And that's all they needed. They needed some guys to come in and play the commercials. Okay, so I can do that. I had a job. I had a job playing in colleges. So I couldn't do it all the time. So he said, well, can you do it Sundays? And I thought, yeah, I'm usually back in Florida on Sundays, and no problem. I'll come over. So it was Sunday nights always, and there was a couple times when I had to leave the radio station, get back in my car, and head to a college. And the colleges I played would be everywhere. Like, they'd be in South Florida, like in Miami. I played St. Thomas University and so many different colleges. And a lot of times they were far, far up north. Like I say, Connecticut. I think Bridgeport, Connecticut is probably the farthest I played. I played New York City. I played Long Island. I played Maryland. I played Delaware. Trust me, I played everywhere. But anyway, so I got this job at the radio station playing commercials during other shows. And those other shows usually were satellite shows. In other words, it came in off of a satellite. And I learned a lot about that because I had to switch satellites too. Back in those days, there was no like automatic switching like they have now. So back then I had to learn how to do that. And it was really easy, to be honest with you. And it was kind of boring. You just basically sat there and you waited for the cue. And then when you heard the cue, you hit the button. And the cartridge, we had all the sound, all the audio recordings were on cartridges that looked like 8-track cartridges like you used to use in your car, but they were not. The word 8-track refers to the number of tracks on the tape. And these tapes were usually 2-track. They were stereo. And they were 1/4-inch tape. Robert would know all this stuff because he's a recording artist. The tapes had, they did not have pinch rollers in them. The pinch rollers were in the machine, whereas like on the 8-track tapes, if you remember, the pinch rollers were inside the cartridge itself. And yeah, so I learned a lot about radio by doing that. And one thing led to the next. The next thing you know, can you come in on Saturday morning? The guy doesn't want to work. He's got to take a day off or whatever. And so I was always the guy who they could depend on to do the things nobody else wanted to do, to fill in. And little did I know that I was actually setting myself up for being a radio guy. God was working in my life, is what I think. And I slowly started working in the radio, and I really didn't have to say anything, but I said, I got a microphone here. I'm gonna do the weather. And so then I found some public service announcements, and I would read them, and nobody seemed to care. I could do kind of what I did. A lot of it was in the early morning or late at night. So let me see if I can get this a little bit over here. Some of these words, I'm not going to try to spell them out. I'm just going to give the effect of Robert's logo, and that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. He's got his own logo. I often wonder what would, if I ever saw him on the road, I would beep at him and he would know, oh, it's just a fan. Just a fan saying hi. But really cool. He goes sometimes with his wife, and he goes sometimes with his mother. And it's very, very enjoyable to watch. Very enjoyable. So anyway, so I've been on the road a lot like Robert. I can kind of relate to it, but I can't really relate to it because I don't really know what it's like to be out that much. And in so many different places in the country. Okay, trying to get these tires now. Trying to get these little bits here. There's the steps. It's a nice looking camper, right? Oh, and there's a design here, I forgot. Looks like it goes like this, up here. It's just a bunch of lines. And then down here, Minnie Tinnie. I often, I look at the different campers, and I look at the ones you drive, and I look at the ones that are pulled, and I watch Robert, and it seems like he really enjoys pulling it and then having his truck to go out and look at other things. So I might enjoy that. I don't know. I also worry about, would I be skilled enough as a driver? I think you have to really know what you're doing. So now you see all that leftover white. I don't really want to keep it white. I want to make it a color that's reflecting off of the terrain there. I gotta figure out how to do that. That's okay, we'll figure it out. And there's probably a dark shadow underneath the camper. Makes sense, right? That's still going to be the sun over there. Trying to get all these background trees. And now, see, while I was doing that, all of this dried, so I can put second layers and stuff on there. All right, now let's try and figure this out. Let's put some dark stuff back here where the trees are. Let that all dry there. And we want the campfire over here. So we'll put some wood there. Let's try to get some of this looking like he's got. You have to have contrast in order for something to look right. You have to have a lot of contrast. So there's that. Go ahead and take this. All right, now let's take. We got to make sure that trailer is completely dry. I think it is. Let me try and get rid of some of that pencil that's on there. We don't need those pencil marks. There we go. All right, let's take this cool pencil here. This cool brush is the brush that came with the new paints, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to take this orange over here. Can you see it? Is it in the picture? And I'm going to go ahead and give some color to this trailer. What it is the trailer is white, but I'm going to give it some color because the sun setting, well, the sun rising is what I'm imagining it to be. The sun rising is reflecting off of the surface of the camper. If I can keep it somewhat watered down, that might be better. I get some of these colors here. My phone just made noise. I don't know what it's telling me. Phones, what do we do without phones? Now the back would be a little bit darker, wouldn't it? So I'm going to try to mix the colors here. Take that color, mix it over there, and bring the back a little bit darker. Try to get it all looking like it would look in reality as best I can. Whoops. Oh man, it fell apart. Oh, that's one thing I don't like about this. Oh man, maybe I don't like this brush. Maybe I didn't push it in far enough. I don't know. Alright, let's keep going. You know what I could do too is I could take like a pen after the fact and add in some of the details, because just because you're using watercolor doesn't mean you have to only use watercolor. You can use mixed media, as they say. Just use watercolor and gouache and a pen or a pencil too, you know, like I just got rid of those pencil marks, but to be honest with you, the pencil marks might have worked. What I like about the way this is coming out now is it's not like consistently yellow. I'm going to put a little bit of red in there too, I think, just to give it a little bit of that glow. Try to get this dark areas between the ladder here, and we'll take some of this and get that wheel looking a little bit like it should look. And I'm pretty sure there would be a shadow underneath that awning. So let me put that shadow in there. And the word Minnie is up there somewhere. I'm just going to make it look like there's a word there. There we go. Alright. Let's get some of these dark areas here. Alright, now let's get this, let me set this one aside. Clean off this brush. And let's try to create the feeling of the background trees. So let's see. I think what I'll do is I'll take some of this color here and just kind of, whoops, that's a little bit too green. I don't want it to be too green. I want it to be kind of a dirty green. Because it's all silhouetted now underneath or in front of the the sun. So try to keep this a little bit looking like there's a shadow here. Okay. So I want to create this look of trees. Use this pointillism technique. Just kind of get it everywhere. Do the same thing over here. The grass. Yeah, I just bought these new paints today, and I can't talk highly enough about them. They're so good. What I like is that I actually got colors I didn't know. I thought I was getting the same exact thing, and obviously not. Obviously it's a different group of colors. I just didn't remember what I had already. That trailer might look a little too yellow. I might need to do something to fix that. I'm sorry I'm not talking much, but oops, I got that into the smoky area. We don't want that. All right, let me get that water to pull off some of that paint where I want it to be. The water, the smoke from the fire. Yeah, that's working. Yeah. All right, let's get some. I need one of these thin ones, these thin, long brushes. Let me clear it out and put some thin lines here. Let me just get a little paint off the brush there. Just get these like trees, some branches, some limbs. We want them all to be like you're in a campground and there's plenty of trees and plenty of greenery around you, and it's in the morning, so I might have to change some of this. When you listen to Robert and you hear his theme song, you can't get it out of your head for a while. It stays with you. I saw a couple of videos where he met like some of his followers, some of his subscribers, and he would get out the guitar and play the theme song for them in person. That's pretty cool. Now that's a guy who has a good grip on what he's doing, and he's not afraid of his own fame that he's created, You know, I don't know if he considers it fame. Every person I meet that is actually famous, and I could name. Should I name drop any? You know, they all say that they don't. Oh, I'm not famous. Oh, yes, you are. What do you mean you're not famous? They don't know they're famous. But anyway, and yeah, I don't want to name drop it, and I don't know anybody personally like that. But I've met them. Like I said, when I played music in places, I would bump into people all the time that had been on The Tonight Show, or they'd been on HBO, or they'd been on things, and so they were famous. Maybe not super famous. I guess I met a couple of people who qualify as super famous, but names you would know. But most of the names probably were only marginally famous. Is that the right way to say that? Didn't matter to me. I was always starstruck. To this day, I meet somebody famous, and I haven't met anybody in a long time, but I used to live on Long Island in New York, and Billy Joel lived there, and people all the time would say they saw Billy Joel. I never once bumped into him. Here in Ocala, we have John Travolta lives around here. I know exactly where he lives. Probably everybody here knows where he lives, and I've never seen him. However, lots of people I know say they've seen him. I'm just one that hasn't. So, and I worked in radio for the rest of my story from before I started to tell you, but I worked in radio after my music years, and I worked in it for 30-something years. So now I'm retired from that, although this past week I have been on the air locally, just filling in for the guy who now does the show, but again, it's not really famous. It's all right. I'm not so sure I like this completely yet. I'm having a hard time figuring out how to actually do this, but maybe it'll come across. Let me see if I can get a little bit of this blue here. Get some of these trees reflected in here. That's what needs to happen. The trees need to be reflected into the water. That sun needs to be reflecting into the water too, so I'll do the best I can. Let me make it dirty water here. Get this reflection off of those trees back there. They're all peeking through, and get this like this. Just get this looking like a river, like a little stream. Now that would be cool, to be camped by a little stream like this, wouldn't it? If you could do that. I haven't camped in a long time, but I'm guessing that nowadays you reserve everything on your phone or something. I remember back in the old days, you could arrive at a campsite late, and they had the honor system. You just put money in an envelope and found a spot, and you were done. Set up your tent, and that was how we did it. I went camping with my son, and I always liked the cabins. I like the tent, but to be honest, I like the cabins. I guess I'm just spoiled by beds. I like beds. There was a couple times when my son and I were traveling out west. We went to the Grand Canyon. It was several days to get there, and it was the weather looked like it was going to be bad. So, and I didn't want to be in the tent in the rain. I just didn't want to put up with that. And so I decided to stop at a Motel 6. And glad I did too, because that night, the next morning on the news, it showed that the campsite we were going to stay in was flooded. It showed campers, having a hard time. And I said to Alex, my son, that would have been us. We almost were in that mess. Thank goodness we stopped and got a Motel 6. We were comfortable. We were dry. All right, now see what I don't like about this is the coloring. I think this could be better. I'm going to take this wine-looking color. And take it and spread it around a little bit. I'm going to put it on Robert's camper also. It's just a little too bright. I think if it was truly in the morning like this, it would be silhouetted a lot. Yeah, I think that's a little bit too red, isn't it? Let me mix it up, get that wine color in there. Try to mix it up with that yellow. It's kind of hard to, without seeing a reference photo of how it would actually look in this circumstance, it's kind of hard to tell. You kind of have to experiment a lot to create something that you don't have a reference photo that clearly shows you the way it should look. But I think I like that better. That does look better. And I think this would have a red glow to it also. I think that wine color is working nicely over here. Let me make it a little bit darker back here. Just a little bit darker. Yeah, I'll remove some of that color with water. I hope I can do it. Yeah, it's coming up. Let me get it back to a little bit lighter. See, what I wanted to do is I wanted to make it white, but like white that's being affected by the ambient light in the distance. So hopefully that's what I'm accomplishing here. Yeah, let's get some of that red that we should have in the sky over here. Let's get that color. Let's water it down a lot. Get that wet brush in there. like a morning scene with all this smoke. I'll get the smoke up here too. Okay. Yeah, maybe there could be some more trees in the distance. Okay, let's get some of this. I think what I want to do is just get some of this water just looking dirty, with a little bit of that white still poking through from that sun. Right now the trailer is looking almost hidden. I kind of don't want that. I kind of want it to look very much in view. So I'm going to use some gouache, I think, and fix that. And do something here with that little fire too. Maybe there's some stones in this river. Just little things. I remember when I was camping when I was a kid, my father would pull this camper behind him. It was a tent, a pop-up tent. And I remember one time we camped near a lake. And that morning, the next morning when we woke up, the lake was covered with fog. And it was the most magical thing. It was so magical to see that. Just a great memory. I think I've said before that I had a very blessed childhood. I had great parents. When I hear stories about people who had horrible childhoods and had not so nice parents, even mean parents, I mean the news stories sometimes break your heart. How can people be so mean to their children? But they are. So when I hear those stories, I thank God. I don't have to wait until I die to tell God I appreciate how He has made my life so blessed from day one. I may not be rich, I may not be whatever you call successful, but I don't have any complaints. I truly feel that I have been probably more blessed than I even know. I probably screwed up a lot. My own mistakes, the mistakes I made myself, that could have been so. I could have gone the wrong way so many times, but God saw fit to straighten me out and make sure I didn't do that. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. I don't know how I could ever really truly thank God enough. I guess the best thing I can do is to do the best I can do with everything. So not to be too philosophical on you, but that's just the way it's where my mind is going right now. And by the way, it's kind of what I like about painting. You're painting I'm painting right now alone, but I'm with you. I'm talking to you, and we're doing. Maybe you're painting while I'm painting, which is what I would like. I would like to paint while you paint. And that's kind of cool to just think about. You're in the same place. It's once in a while I do it with Robin. We'll paint together, or with a friend. A couple times we've done that. And I like to imagine that's what we're doing right now. So there's the smoke, you see? Didn't that smoke come out all right? I think so. All right, now what I think I need to do is I need to fix that camper, make it a little bit less, or maybe not. I don't know. So I have this this gouache. This is titanium white gouache. I'm going to use a little bit of that. I'll just go ahead and put it in here. Just a little dab. And see if I can fix the camper to look more like a camper. Also, I probably should take a little bit of this red and make a little bit of a fire down here. Get this orange color. There we go. Just a little bit of that. There we go, there's the fire. Now let me, I'll take this little brush that I got with the kit. I'm going to dip it into that white. I don't know if you can see it. Very thin. I just want to make a little bit of an edge here on the edge of the water. Maybe it's rippling a little bit. Also, I think I'm going to take the edge of the camper and bring it back to being white again, because I kind of messed up by making it too off color. So I want to make it white, at least partially. Yeah, I kind of like the way it's looking. Just kind of ease it in there. A little bit. Make it a little bit whiter around the windows, and as we get back to the back of the camper, maybe it's not as lit, but this way you can see it better. Contrast is everything, you know. I'll put a little bit of line here. Making some more defined lines here. It's got to be really skinny here. Skinny for the Minnie Tinnie. There we go. A couple of marks down here. Just to kind of create that feel that we're looking at the camper. There we go. So it looks like a little bit like there's a shadow that's being cast down from that awning. And so this white over here is visible. And I can always fix the black that I'm painting over. Alright, I don't know if it's good. Maybe the back needs to be a little bit brighter too. Get it a little bit wet. All right. All right, let me get some more, a little bit of lines here in this water. Keep it real thin. Get some white, maybe right there in the middle of that sun. Yeah, I think Minnie Tinnie's starting to look like the Minnie Tinnie I see in the Roberts videos. A little bit. Starting to look like it. I'm trying to make it look the way it might look like in the nighttime or in the early dawn. I don't know that I'm doing a good job of that though. I think I'm starting to get that look. Now we're starting to see the camper. I hope it's starting to look like the camper. I think I was messing it up too bad, and now it's all a repair job here. I think I tried too hard to make it look like it was in the night, and it actually looks better if it's white. Hey, that rhymed. It sounded like a rhyme I just said. And what I can do here is take some of that black and redefine some of this stuff. I think that's what I'll do. There. That's starting to look like the camper, isn't it? Like the Minnie, Winnie, Tinnie. Okay. So I'm going to get some of this, and what I like to do is get one of these brushes here, this one, and again use the water, get that smoke to rise here. And spread out a little bit. Yeah. I think some of the green maybe. Let me see if I can find a good green here. This one maybe. Go ahead and get a little bit of a hint of grass here. Get some yellows and put them in the trees where the sunlight is hitting them. I can get that yellow over there. Yeah, so they're not all completely silhouetted. So we do have some green and some yellows. Over there and over here. It's after 6 my time, and I probably should be wrapping it up soon. So if I can do other things, but looks like I've been talking to you over an hour already. There we go. There's the fire. All right, now I'm going to let that dry. And I think I'm going to use this pen here to fine-tune some of those lines on the trailer, but I got to let it dry first. So let me turn this off and I'll be right back. Okay, it's dry. I'm going to use this, so it's going to be mixed media. I just want to take this, and this is easier to do fine lines with. I suppose I could have made everything bigger. I could have brought the trailer closer to the foreground, but I didn't. So I'll just do this. I'll make the window a little bit wider. It looks like it's more wide there. And put these lines back where they need to be. And the frame of the door, the window in the door, the ladder on the back, the hubs and the wheels. Let me get some more definition to these steps. Got a line that goes here. There's a line that goes here. And door comes down to there. I don't think I got Minnie Tinnie exactly correct, but you know what? It looks like a trailer. Maybe I didn't get this run trailer, but it looks like a trailer. I like it now. It's a lot better. And thank you for watching. If you can hit that subscribe button and all those things that people who make these videos tell you to do. I get these messages all the time from people asking me about the videos, and I don't know the answers. I don't know how YouTube really works and all the algorithm and all that stuff. I'm not really sure about all that stuff. But there are lots of videos from people who know how to do that stuff. I bet you Robert knows about that stuff because he makes a lot of videos. He's got a lot of followers. He's a true inspiration in so many different ways. And if you want to watch him, what I do is I go to Traveling Robert on YouTube. It's as simple as that. Traveling Robert. He shows up. And you'll get to know him. You'll feel like a friend. And if you're camping, especially you're camping in the places he camps, you might run into him. He always seems very willing to chat with people who've watched his videos, and so that's kind of cool. I'm just adding some more leaves here, and there's our campfire, by the way. And I guess I can add a few more wisps. Maybe there's a few more things here. It is truly mixed media. I am using ink right now just to give a little stuff that's a little bit more interesting. Waves or ripples in water, in small bodies of water like rivers and stuff, they're so different than the ripples and waves in a large, like the ocean, a large body of water. But when it's all done, there's no question that it looks like water. And there we go. There's the campsite, the campground. There's a little bit of crosshatch to make it look more like a shadow. Oh, I didn't do a good job with the words, did I? So back on here, Winnebago, and then Traveling with Robert. That's back there. And this design up here I didn't quite get right, but it'll work. And then there's a door here or something, and a couple of other things. Okay. Now I want to go camping. Okay? Now I'm ready to get in the car and head out the door. Riding in my RV. That's what I want to be. Where I'm free in my RV. That's what it's about. It's about being free. That's what it's about. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. I can't swear that this is the best painting I've ever done, but I like it. I like it. It looks like Robert's camping next to a river. And I'm going to fold it open. Close, or whatever you say. Just fold it, make it a card. And there we go. There's Robert's campsite for the night. I don't know where he is. It's not Pelly Camp because there's no river going through Pelly Camp. All right. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Say